Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, all over the world, boys and girls, wherever you are, today we are back in the name of praise with the Most High. Hello, my name is Mike, Michigan, and I am your host I'm from the zoo. Dubb, what you got going on over there? I got my co-host today.
Hey, I'm just over there chilling, man, just smoking on some napalm.
One of our
before
sponsors.
we get prepped up, you know what I mean?
It's legal these days.
We got a lovely guest today.
We sure do, man. And you know what, Dubb? I'm not even going to waste our time getting into it today, but I just wanted to say to you, hey, it's good to see you. Thank you for coming here today. Once again, if you're joining us out on YouTube, Spotify, Facebook, we have not only an exciting person, just a dynamic person. You know what I mean? And this one's going to go down for the history books for our show. We are so happy and wonderful to have the president of the African American Women in Cinema, not only the president, but the founder in 2000, Miss TERRA RENEE. Welcome
Thank
to
you.
the show.
Thank you. So happy to be here in this incredible, wonderful show. You all are amazing and you're doing great work. And certainly the community loves you. We appreciate you so very much. And we need you. So thank you.
Well, thank you so much. That is just wonderful coming from you as well. You look fabulous, by the way.
Well, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, here we are blessed to have, sometimes in life, God looks out for his children all the time. And like I say, we are just so blessed to have Miss RENEE online with us. There's so many accolades. I wouldn't know where to start. You know what I mean? So I guess I'm going to start with the one-to-one. When you first got started, where were you born? We're just going to take that. Where are you from?
Oh, okay. Well, originally I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Ooh, PA.
Wonderful. We might be related. Right off the bat. So you're from Philly. Shouts up to Philly. Philadelphia is one of those American cities that is, it is purely American grown because, Philadelphia was the early place where our slaves, or whatever you want to call it, was a collective place where people had a consciousness for us to make a safe haven. So it's one of those early places of higher education, of course, political, and definitely just when you go there, you feel like that's our home. We've been there. We've done that. We've built this city.
Then most women from Philly very headstrong as well.
Tell us about growing up in Philadelphia. Tell us about growing up in Philly. It is a tough place. Tell us about it.
It is. And I left at a young age to go to college, but I do have a story to share. Yes. When I was in middle school, came in one morning and the teacher announced that she just came out of a meeting with the principal, and the principal decided that he wanted the 8th graders to have a president for their class. And so she said, you know, if you want to be considered, raise your hand, come up to the class, give your speech, and then the class will vote. And I raised my hand. I don't know why I did that, but I raised my hand. And out of the blue, I snatched a speech out of the air. I told the class that I would help them get discounted snacks in the lunchroom. And I ended up becoming the president. And I was looking at my presidential certificate not too long ago, and I just couldn't believe what had transpired. So that's one of the good memories I have of growing up in Philadelphia. I think it was at that point that my leadership was beginning to evolve. And so was earmarked by that particular certificate that I had.
And now, you know what? That is absolutely fabulous. And the reason why I wanted to ask where you're from, it's always good, you know, where people know where your beginnings are. And
Yes.
and you're right. And that was the beginning of your leadership. You said you snatched a speech out of the air. You fulfilled the promises, I'm sure. You're you know.
He was built for it.
You were built for it. Leadership. So you right off the bat, you know how to be a leader, and everybody gravitates to you. So that's very important. That's something that now. So now, where did you go to college when you left Philadelphia? You went to college?
Yeah, I went to Johnson Wales University in Providence, Rhode Island.
Oh,
And
wonderful.
then from there, I took a couple of courses at SVA, and then also did some online courses with Yale and Harvard, and then went to Western Governors University.
Absolutely fabulous, fabulous, wonderful in education. You know,
Thank you.
the beautiful thing about the education is that, you know, some people don't understand that you have to have education, even if you're a master in what you're in, because it helps you to further, not only just to solidify, you know, the baseline of everything, but also just so that you can cover any other thing that's coming your way, especially when it comes to awards, especially when it comes to meetings. We're going to get just a little foreshadowing where we're going right now. So tell us after, I don't really want to rush your education because you went to Harvard and you went to Yale. Those are just absolute, thank you, number one, for being in these institutions and shining your light and showing people, hey, you know, we need to open up our minds because there's so many dynamic people that are going to be coming through here. We cannot just keep blocking everybody.
Right. That's true. That's true. You know, being in a country that have historically, systemically, and continue to try to hold a certain community back, you know, has been paramount. But I had the very fortunate opportunity to have role models that told me that I can make it in spite of. And this is what I hope to relate to others. No, it's not easy. There's a lot that comes with the territory as you pursue what you believe you're being called to do. But in spite of it all, you can make it. So that's what I really, that is the MO of the life that I want to live, that when people see me, I want them to know that they can make it in whatever they feel they are called to do in this world.
Amen. That's so powerful. Thank you so much for that. If you're out there listening, you heard that. That's worth going back and seeing and listening again, because I just got into my bone structure right there, my DNA. Thank you so much for that.
Wonderful.
That is wonderful. Now, you know what? We talk about education. We talk about your leadership skills. You know, when you became the president, you raised your hand, you went for it. You know, all of these things. It's kind of just I'm asking these in the way this because you are so debonair with what you do. And you've got an event. We're going to go forward a little bit. You've got an event coming up. This is your 24th year as the president. How did you get to New York City?
Oh, boy, that's a great question. Well, when I started taking some of the courses like an SVA, I decided, okay, well, let me kind of visit New York and let me see what this is all about.
Yeah.
And then when I start getting involved with the classes and start mingling with society, I just end up staying. And so now I guess
places. It just holds you, and that's it. Once you get there, that's like, hey, where am I going?
It's true. It's true. So
Now,
I haven't left.
what year was that when that
Oh boy.
when New York pulled you in?
Oh my goodness. Well, I started kind of visiting back in the late 90s.
Okay.
And then actually early 90s, because I started visiting actually in 1991.
Okay. Okay.
And then towards the late 90s, that's when I got pulled.
Okay. Towards the late 90s. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And now were you traveling before you got to New York? Where were you living? What were you, you were in school still, but during that transition time before you got to solidly be in New York, where were you?
Well, school had me in Europe. It was the first time I went to Europe. First time I visited Copenhagen, Amsterdam, all those places. And it was so funny.
Yes.
Because I didn't have a whole lot of exposure. I just thought everyone spoke English, even though, or understood it.
Yes.
And it wasn't until I was in Amsterdam and I was saying, excuse me, to a couple pedestrians as I was walking across the street so I would not bump into them. And the woman looked at me and she was trying to figure out what I was saying.
Yeah.
So not realizing she spoke Dutch, I repeated myself, excuse me. So I was having an experience in Europe and being kind of cultivated or just being exposed to the culture out there.
Tell us more about that, because a lot of us don't have a passport. A lot of us have never traveled overseas. Some of us never left our own state. Tell us about what guided you in the beginning to go overseas. It was education.
What an experience.
Yeah.
And let's share us with that. Because we moved fast from 8th grade, and we didn't even ask you which high school you went to. What high school did you go to?
I went to Walter Biddle High School. Have you heard of that? It's about agriculture.
That's in North Philly?
No, it was in Roxborough. Was it Roxborough? Now I can't even remember what part of Philadelphia. It was not in it was on the outer skirts. So Walter Biddle High School, which was supposedly which is about the agriculture industry. And so their motto is Future Farmers of America. And so when we would go there, we would literally have like 2 hours on the farm tending to animals and then come back to do our academias. Yeah. So it was a very interesting school.
That was one of the first one of those schools that were a model like a Booker T. Washington type of
yeah.
And the funny thing about that is my children, I lived in Florida for a moment, and when my son went to high school, they had a program where farming was part of their program. Had cows, had cows on the campus, corn, pigs, and it was like, and I, it's just crazy when you go to different regions of places that this is what's available, and that's so. So the reason why I was asking that much, thank you for your high school, because that is what, now you got scholarships. Tell us about what. Tell us about it.
So the high school was a public high school. You had to be interviewed, and if you were accepted, you had to go to summer school.
Okay.
And so there they just trained us and prepared us for the actual school itself and the climate and the atmosphere and just getting used to animals, things of that nature. So it was free, but we had to.
Did you think that I'm sorry, did you think that at that time that you were going to pursue farming? Because you're very far from the farm industry.
I know. No, you know what it was? I always loved animals.
Okay.
And so one of my courses was veterinary medicine, and I did very well in it.
Okay.
And but
well,
like
you were gonna achieve in anything that you
It didn't
wanted
matter.
to, anything you wanted to put your fingertips on was gonna be historical. So we already know that, because I just saw you lit up when you talked about being a veterinarian. You could have been the greatest veterinarian. Wonderful.
Well, thank you, thank you for that. I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
we're slowly taking our time to get there, because we know what type of
Take your time.
we know what type of champion person. You know, I had done a little bit of I was fortunate, you know, Kier is a good friend of mine, as both of us, and I was fortunate enough to be able to look at some of the accolades that you have and that you continue to do. And you know, but we want to learn so much more about you. And in this interview, what we like to do is we like our guests to be able to listen back and say, you know what, I've never been asked that question before. And that's the type of angle that we like to have, because you know, not only will people be interested to see how much wonderful things you've done, but we also like to know how you got there.
Yeah, but
Yeah, that's important. The process.
Yeah.
Going to Denmark, and then that part of your life, usually people ain't even thinking about going overseas. They're trying to get their shit together.
People don't even know how to spell Copenhagen. They
Yeah,
don't know where it is on the globe. So
you're going overseas. So I happen to know a little bit about Copenhagen and getting on the train.
Good.
Did you take the train to Amsterdam from Copenhagen?
Well, what I did was I took the URL to yeah, I did take the URL to Copenhagen. You're right. I remember being on the train for many hours, just going through Europe. And one of the things that I saw was the field of tulips that they had in an array of colors. It was great. And also in Amsterdam, I guess I could say this to your audience. It was the first time, I don't know how I ended up in the red light district. I had no idea. And I saw stuff that my jaw just dropped. I couldn't. Anyway,
you couldn't believe that this is all here, right live. Yeah. Well, let's talk about that, because what was your thoughts of, because we've gone there already. Because I wanted to even ask you, like, you know, what was it that made you get to Europe? You said it was schooling, but
yeah, it was school.
It was, so you went to school. Was this like in the beginning? Was this a transfer program? Tell us about how that process happened.
Okay, so it was part of the school curriculum. It was an internship that we had to go out to Europe to learn about different cultures. Wonderful. And just be familiar. And I'm so grateful that we had that opportunity, because like I said, when I got there, you know, I was just so limited in my understanding in certain areas. I did not realize that the whole world did not speak English or understood it.
Right.
And so that was a real awakening to me. And but I had a great time, and it was when I was in, I believe it was Amsterdam and Copenhagen, and it was another part, Brussels. I did not realize how popular Black women from America could be.
Oh yeah.
Come on now, talk about it. Now. See, these are the things that people need to hear about. Now, what years were these that you were in Europe, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh boy, it was a while ago. It was in the late 80s.
And the reason why I was asking that is because these are the things that shaped you. You're a young lady from Philadelphia. All right. You're grown and raised. You went to a high school that was, you know, like a farming type of school. That you love to do. And then you went to college, and then you went overseas in a program that made you go to Europe and forced you to learn a whole different world. That people you didn't even know, that people didn't even know English or spoke English all the way around.
Man, just to be able to have that type of want to go check it out. You know, most kids be like, I don't want to go there. I don't know nobody there.
Right, exactly.
You jump right up in there and like, I'm a traveler. I understand
and we're right, Dubb. And you know what? And we you know, we don't want to zoom over all of your experiences, but we know how hard dealing with people are
Yeah.
in America alone,
Well, that.
let alone to go over to Europe. And then you see that you get to a certain place and you're desired.
So
Yeah.
did you date anybody while you were there?
Uda.
No, no, I did not do that. But
No.
I was just surprised because, in our country, at
Mhm.
times, systemically is set up where, you really don't understand your full worth and value.
Ooh.
And then you go to a whole nother culture and they just value you. It was just
It's a
really,
paradigm. It was a paradigm shift for you.
yeah. Mhm.
And
It was.
the reason why I was asking so many questions about, and dipping into your Europe life and your
Hmm.
background is because in 2000 you created the African American Women in Cinema after you had been in New York maybe like 9 years, and you were, you have the wonderful distinction of being able to go and you were a president at the 8th grade. So
Yeah.
we know about the dibble and the dabble, right? But they didn't. So you know what I mean? So you know about the
Mhm.
dibble dabble, you know about how to refine people, how to get things that you need. And you
Mhm.
saw things in Europe that you'd never seen before. But the thing was the paradigm shift that we just spoke about was what attracted you, because when you came back to America, you've been somewhere where somebody treated you way better,
Mhm.
showed you your value
Yeah.
outside of your
Hmm.
country, and that
Hmm.
probably made you come back to the United States with that fire and
Yeah.
fire,
Mhm.
that fire and desire because you knew your value.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Hmm.
that's why I wanted to ask what made you and how and what was it that made you create the African American Women in
Hmm.
Cinema and become
Oh,
the founder and the organizer of that. Tell us about that.
sure. And I really love this interview so very much how you're all structuring it.
Thank you.
So it was in the late 90s when I had gotten a call. I believe it was around that time she was a very hot casting director. She was hired by a major motion picture company to bring to the audition site or to send to the audition site tall African American women for under five role
Mm.
audition. And so, for your audience who don't know what an under five is, it's under five lines. And a lot of the times, those roles never make film, end up on the cutting room floor. So I just knew I was going to get the part. And so when I went to the audition site and opened the door, saw about 1,000 women there, I was blown away. And it was at that moment the advocacy rose up in me. And I said, oh, wow, I got to create jobs. Just totally naive. But it was the activism that was awoken in me. I didn't even audition, shut the door, and I left. And I began working on a screenplay. And it was from there that I was talking to some friends who encouraged me to apply for a grant. And I did. And then I met a young lady
Mhm.
who was an aspiring publicist. And I told her my story. And she was really fascinated about it. She said, oh, man, well, then we should just do an event, that would hopefully bring some media
Yeah.
and maybe someone will hear and will be willing to support you in this initiative that you can help provide opportunities for women of color. So I said, yeah, let's do it. So it was only supposed to be a one-time event. And I said, okay, I'll call it African American Women in Cinema. And basically we launched it and we had women from several phases of film producing. So we had the beginners, we had the mid-levels, and then we had the ones who went all out and produced feature films that was four-walled in theaters. And so
Just a
when
whole
it
new
was
Pandora's box was open just like that.
exactly, and so when we launched it, women from everywhere
Uh,
showed up.
that was the
And
first year in 2000 when you did that?
no, this was actually in the late 90s, but in
May
2000,
I
I
ask you a
started,
question real quick right there?
yeah,
Because I lived in New York City for about 6 years, from 94 to
okay,
99 to 99.
to 99. Okay.
So I remember, because I used to work with Quincy Jones in the Vibe seminars in the summer.
Oh,
And,
wonderful.
and during that time, do you remember Urban World film?
Yes, I do. Yes.
I was there. That was, remember, those were,
Wow.
because now my skin's crawling because I'm in the film, I'm in the film as well, and music.
Oh, oh,
When they
wow.
it was like 96, 97, I think, when they did that Urban
Mhm.
World.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yep,
When they did
I
the
do.
Urban World, when they did the Urban World film, I'm thinking I remember AAWIC. I'm not, I may be a little bit ahead of myself, but
No.
I remember the signal because at that they were, I remember you had movies. You had a sectional in that place where we were doing movies. I mean, I know it now who you are, but I remember that because I was there.
Yeah, well, yes. I mean, we had launched that conference, I believe it was either
Urban World,
97, 98,
97, yes. Urban
or
Film,
98. We had
yeah.
launched the AAWIC one, well, it was supposed to be a one-time event. And
Okay.
then it wasn't until 2000 that we turned it into an organization, that I
Tell us
turned it into an
about that.
organization.
Tell us about that growth that, because, and then thank you for acknowledging the urban world because when I
Yeah,
saw
I love
that,
Urban
because
World.
like you got to think about that was 97. And,
Mm-hmm.
we had just like Sprint phones were just coming out and the internet was just now starting to,
Yes.
it wasn't
Yep.
really like, if we know what we know now, we would have been
Oh,
like,
yeah.
boom, internet, but I remember going to Urban World Film Festival,
Mm-hmm.
after just being strictly in the music, and it just made my heart because the colors, the people, the energy, film is way different than a music. Music is one that we all, you can be stunned by music that you can hear from afar, but it's
Yeah.
something about that film that you have to watch, you have to see it, you have to feel it, and it becomes a part of you. And when we had that Urban World Film Festival,
Mm-hmm.
that right there, that actually not only did it continue to spark mine
Mm-hmm.
need to go into film, but it also sparked so many others. And it
Mm-hmm.
just created a dynamic industry for us. So
Yeah, it did.
I want to thank those who were involved
Yes.
with organizing an Urban World Film Festival back in the 90s. And I
Mhm.
wanted to ask you when you did that, and how did you get African American women in cinema from, hey, this is going to be a one-time thing to an organization?
And I saw the women showed up at the event, and I just sensed that it was so needed. I didn't realize there was no entity in place to bring these type of storytellers and rich content creators together,
Yes.
and where their works could be seen, you know,
Right.
uh
Yeah.
yes, in its most rawest form, in its most richest form, you
Unapologetic.
know. Yes, yes. And so I said, oh, this is my calling. This is what I need to do. And so thus I turned into an organization, and we have not looked back.
And I have to give you an applause for that. We want to and you know what? I thank you so much for that wonderful story. And the reason why I was asking about your background in Philadelphia,
Mm-hmm.
you becoming the president and then going to
Mm-hmm.
college and then going overseas
Mm-hmm.
and being able to see your value. And then when you
Mm-hmm.
came back in the 90s, and then when you created that, just what you said, that you were surprised once again that there was nothing there for us,
Yeah.
nothing there for women, nothing to claim. And I
Yeah.
want to absolutely applaud you for that, for having that
Thank
vision
you.
and that
Thank
foresight
you.
24 years ago. Isn't that
Thank you
amazing?
so much.
Also I'm intrigued by you doing film. My auntie I'm doing a documentary on my auntie that's a female. She was a Black Panther in two different chapters, New
Wow.
York chapter and the Illinois chapter.
They'll
So
be
what kind
talking
of
to the
advice
best
do you
producer in the world right there.
yeah, so what kind of advice do you have to give to a young filmmaker that's doing something like this? What is it what should I what kind of question, I'm just
How do you,
curious
how do you
about
hook it up? Yeah.
Yeah. So what
Well,
kind of advice do you have for a young filmmaker that's
well,
doing a first documentary?
well, now being a filmmaker now is just a tad bit easier because of the technology. You know, when we got back when we started, there was no iPhone, none of that stuff to be able to make your film. Sorry about the background noise.
That's okay. It's New York. We understand.
Thank you. So, so what we ended up doing was going to film festivals, film-related events, network. If there was a college that was offering a course that we could afford, we would take it.
Yeah.
But now, the advantages that I would tell a young content creator or filmmaker, do your research. You have YouTube University, you have Google, you know, do your research. If you hear of any,
You got AI, yeah.
yes, yes. And if you hear of any film related events, go, because that is an opportunity to meet other people who are making films. And if they need help, you know, offer your assistance. And in exchange for credit and maybe something to eat, you know, work on their project so that you can learn. That's exactly what I ended up doing. When I went to School of Visual Arts, I took a couple courses and I met a young Vietnamese guy who actually ended up taking me around to a couple of his friends who were shooting shorts. Okay. And there I was, right on the crew, working with them.
Is that Island Alicia? Was that your production, Island Alicia?
Yes, and I was getting ready to say it led right to that. So one day after working on several of the shorts, he called me up and said, my friend got money for his feature film, Island Alicia, and we would love to have you on board as an associate producer, and we need your help. Wow. And I went and did it.
Tell everyone what I mean, this is beautiful. Tell everyone what an associate producer is on a film.
Right.
It has a range of meanings. Some people, they just put up money and get the credit. Some people would offer sweat equity, you know, support the film in any which way to help move it forward, and in exchange for a title. So I was the one with the sweat equity.
Yes. Well, the reason why I wanted to tell that is because I want people to understand and listen out there is like, you know, you don't just get to the top right from the beginning. You know, you do have to barter. You do. There is a barter, whether it's a learning situation, whether it's an internship situation, there's some type of giving. But if there's a knowledge-based something that you want to get to, you have to invest in yourself and invest into what you're trying to do. So I wasn't the reason, and the reason why I wanted to ask for you to tell people what an associate producer, because people don't even know what that means. They don't even know what a sweat equity or just throwing a little bill. But we wanted to, the reason why I asked you is because somebody invited you. Like, and this is what I want everybody to hear. They had a budget for it.
Yes.
And someone invited, somebody pre-thought about, I got money. Who am I gonna trust? Who am I gonna bring? Who am I gonna qualify? Who's gonna do that good job for me? And as a producer of anything, you know, you have to think about all of these levels. So not only did you impress someone in the past, they were not only, they brought you on to give you a credit.
Yeah.
And if anyone is in film, just to get a credit of, especially on an associate producer or anything on a producer or writing or a different directing level, it takes you to a different tier.
Yes, it does.
When you're dealing with people on the industry side, people look at you like, oh, you're a writer. So really what they're saying is, oh, you're intelligent. Oh, you're a producer. Oh, you can handle and get things done. You know, so it's a way that the reason why I'm saying that is like, you know, there's nothing wrong with starting as an internship or a coffee, go and get the coffee. Or if you want to like, you know, doing script, or if you want to even just sign up the actors and actresses. And I know I'm going on and on because a lot of people just don't understand, you know, the difficulty of film, of not just getting on the screen. That's the fun. That's the best part. But if you went backwards from there, you got to know everybody that contributed. You got to put that in a credit. You got to put every place that you visited in a credit. You got to go back. You got to do so much work. And the reason why I'm saying all that, to be the founder and the president of the African American Women in Cinema for the last 24 years, it takes an absolutely strong character. It takes
hard work.
it takes a dedicated person. It takes a strength, because you've got to not only deal with different personalities, different peoples from all things, different egos, different ecosystems, you know,
Yes.
but you
So
maintain it beautifully, and you thrive and you teach
Thank
people.
you.
So we want to just give you your absolute, what do they say now? They're flowers. I just say, like, I say, we want to give you praise. And we want to tell
Thank
you,
you.
we want to thank you for what you did, because you're historical. You made history. Like you said, this had never existed before, ladies and gentlemen. And it's 2024. This was 2000 when it happened. And we have Miss TERRA RENEE. She had the foresight to do that. And once again, we want to thank you so much for
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Now that we've gotten to the point of how you process that, how you've gone overseas, how you met other people, how they named you to be an associate producer, and what did that experience from that island, what did that do for you and your confidence?
Oh boy. Well, let me tell you, I was really excited to be on the set and help them out, and I was really you stated confidence. It really, at that point, my confidence had built because I was working on other sets, so it afforded me the opportunity to apply what I had learned.
Yeah,
and then
come on now.
Once the film was done, unbeknownst to me, the director was submitting the film to every major film festival in the world and got turned down by all of them except for one. And one day I saw that I had a voicemail, and I listened, and the only thing I heard was this heavy breathing. I said, oh my gosh, do I have a stalker? Who's calling me with this heavy breathing? But it was the director. He was so excited that the film was accepted to the Cannes Film Festival.
Yes, it was.
One of the top, film festivals in the world. And I was blown away. Because prior to then, I've always heard about it, never have gone. Yeah. And so now suddenly we found ourselves 3 weeks prior to the start of the festival, rushing to get everything in order. They wanted like 2,000 press kits. So the director had to divvy up the press kits between all of us. And we hopped on the plane. Then my luggage got lost. But anyway.
That sucked.
Now you had already been to Europe before.
Well, I've been to Europe, but I haven't been to the south of France.
South of France.
Yeah.
That's deep.
I haven't been to the south of France.
Film Festival is one of the most luxurious.
It
is. You can't just get there, just be like, hey, we're gonna go. This is a dot to dot to dot. Welcome in. Let me check who you are first.
It's true.
Yeah,
it's true. Yeah. So we got in what they call a major category, but they call it the uncertain regard.
What does that mean when the uncertain category?
Yeah, we asked them that, and basically they said, well, the judges felt that they wasn't sure what category it should be in, but they felt it was strong enough to be in a category.
It was a big film, so it needed to be included.
Yeah, that's what they felt.
That's absolutely outstanding. That's even better. That's even better if you think about it. That means that it can't be categorized. It just has to be involved. That's wonderful.
Thank you. So first time walking the major red carpet with hundreds of reporters, and it was really amazing experience. And then first time being written up in a major public industry publication, Variety magazine. When I opened it and saw my name there, I said, wow, that's something else. So that was, but see, I want to just say too, what you were saying, Mike, about encouraging the people to just sow. You're sowing your time in exchange to reap the benefits of knowledge and also building your credit. Because a lot of times, some young people these days, they don't want to, they say in their mind, oh, I'm not working for free, but you're really not. It is a barter, as you stated earlier. It is an exchange.
Yes.
I am sowing some time to get in exchange knowledge, insight, experience, and credit. And this will all help me to my next level. And they have to think like that. Because it was through volunteering that I ended up there.
Absolutely. You know what, and it's so wonderful to hear that, because I left college in 1994 for an internship at Island Records.
Wow.
And that's what made me start my journey. And what you just said is absolutely exactly. If it wasn't for the internship that I started, none of this would be. Here we are, like 24 years, 20 something years later. Oh my goodness, mine is 30. but what you just said is absolutely exactly what it is. And matter of fact, wouldn't you actually want to recommend that for a college student? Instead of going out into the real world and jumping and doing this, go get you an internship.
I agree.
I think, because first of all, when you go and you do an internship, people and you're serious about it.
You meet
like
people.
Somebody's like, you mean to tell me you want to come here and work and for free? What's the catch? No, you just really want to learn for real. That's impressive to some people when they understand that side. But some people can't understand that. But if you wouldn't have done that, it wouldn't have led to Oscar,
what you're doing now.
Copenhagen, the Cans. And and ladies and gentlemen, I haven't even told you half of the credentials that Miss Renee has. And I'm going to break some of those down. Did you know that she was the NAACP Woman of the Year? Did you know that she also was in the Essence magazine representing Walmart Voices of Color film series? Did you know that she also has the Bill McQuarrie Award? I'm dropping name drops, so when you go back and you do your due diligence, you will know absolutely the wonderful contributions that Miss Renee has been doing for us and continues to do. And even in 2017, when you did the United African Coalition Woman on a Mission, you had the Woman on a Mission Award, the Total Faith Network Award, the Dorothy Dandridge Award. It goes on and on. But some of the things that let me talk to the young hip hop cats out here. Do you know that Miss Renee is also responsible for the Jam Master Jay project? You didn't know nothing about that, huh? You didn't know I knew
two turntables and a microphone.
The Jam Master Jay project, and the reason why that's important, because in the news right now, they just finally officially found out who murdered and killed Jam Master Jay, and it was a godson and a friend. And I'm so glad that was solved for the sake of his family.
Well, they had to. It came at an end because the majority of his family all passed away anyway. He only had like a cousin and a son or something left. Everybody else passed away. That's he love people.
Right. But the reason why I was bringing that up is like Miss Renee has a hand on that. And also in my family, Marion Williams was one of the most. My grandmother listened to Marion Williams all the time. Oh yes.
Wow.
And you produced a documentary on her, and it goes on and on and on, because I'm skipping all around and I don't, but I'm letting people know, not only did that internship just start right there, but it led to all of these wonderful things. And it led to, you being able to display who you are for everybody. And God is the greatest, because you are the one that he chose to do that. You know what I'm saying? And this is the thing that we as a people need to realize. God has been using us all through history, not just yesterday. You know, this is supposedly international. I say supposedly because every day is International Women's Day. Every day is Black History Day. Every day is White History Day. Every day is Asian. Every day is Mexican American Day. Every day is Indian Day. No matter what day or what nationality you are, we're a human family, and you should have your day. But we shouldn't break days off like that. We need to recognize the greatness that we have within us. God didn't say, okay, I just want this person to have that or these people to have that. No, it's a rewarded thing that he has for his children. And Miss Renee, you were chosen by God to do this.
Thank you so much.
And I know you know that.
Yes, it's definitely a calling, Mike, because what comes with it, you have to have to me, a supernatural stamina.
Yes.
To continue to power through.
Talk about it.
And so, because like you said earlier, there are just many, many different types of scenarios and situations and circumstances and just people. And if you don't have that it factor, in my world, means the supernatural stamina.
Yes.
It's easy.
Oh, you didn't make any mistake with that. That's exactly what it is. Yes, ma'am. You said it exactly perfect.
Thank you so much. So, that's what it calls for. I just want to update your audience on a few things. I thank you for pulling that out, my bio, my resume. Because I'm a doer, I don't really talk much about what I do. And it takes me a little while to pull some things together and let folks know what I have done. Right. But the Jam Master Jay project certainly was involved in the early stages of it, and it is in the hands of Miss D Productions, and so they're moving forward with a series, I believe.
Okay.
And the Marion Williams film is now on Amazon Prime and on Tubi.
Congratulations!
And so I was one of the executive producers on that. So thank you so much.
You're very welcome for that. You know what? I can't believe that Oh my gosh, are we past halftime and the third?
No, we're the third quarter.
We're the third quarter?
Yeah. We're going smooth.
I'm going to be mad at myself. You can be like, Mike, you are a turtle. You didn't get nowhere near it. You know what? And you know what? You said something that's really beautiful. When you have, you said a lot of things that are beautiful. You do have to have a supernatural, you have to have a supernatural power that's given to you. It's a, you know what? Not only is it wisdom, but it's strength, but it's also, I'm getting back to that word, that confidence, because not everybody can do it. And a lot of people give up. A lot of people give up when the fight gets hard. You know what I'm saying? And this is one thing that I wanna address. Don't ever mistake someone's aggressiveness that you think is aggressive for being passionate. One thing about an African American and us as a general is that we get clumped into the aggressive side of things.
It's true.
Instead of saying, maybe that person is just passionate about what they do. You know what I mean? And when I say this, I'm saying this because certain people have a level of pushing like, hey, I'm all that. I do this. Don't you know who I am? Who is you to tell me that you don't know me? You know what I'm saying? But then there's those ones that are super accomplished and they know who they are and they know where they get that gift from. And they know that they have to have a certain type of temperance and balance because they know that joy that they get comes from God. So when you're a doer like you are, you forget how many things that you've done. You forget how many lives you've touched. You forget how many accomplishments was checked off the box. And it's not just the end of the day where you say, hey, Women on a Mission got this award, or you got the Nelson Mandela Award in Paris. Or, what was those steps to get there? And you checking all the boxes. And today, that's why we've really had a wonderful time getting to know you and that process, all the way from the 8th grade when you raised your hand Just think if you would
Yeah.
have faced the army in the 8th grade to go up
Yeah.
there to be the president.
Mhm.
And then not only that, but going to the school where you had to learn the different things about farming. And not only
Yeah.
that, taking yourself overseas and learning that people didn't even know
Mhm.
English and seeing that Black women were desirable. When you've seen
Mhm.
in America, you know, all your life, like, wait a minute, this isn't the real way that they've really been portraying, because you got a chance to go and see and know who you are.
Mhm.
And you were able to come back to New York City or and from film school. And not only did that energy that you have, someone saw that light in you and said, I'm gonna make you a producer
Mm.
with me, with this money. I could have chose anybody else in the world to do this. And they chose you and they did the right choice because then he went on to Cannes and you came to New York and you
Mhm.
created the African American women in cinema in 2000, and here we are in 2024, and next week what do you have going on? You
Wow,
like that
thank you,
right there?
Mike.
You're
So
very
we
welcome.
I love it. We have our 24th film festival, which is going to be taking place at the LaGuardia Community College. And on the 21st is our opening night, our red carpet VIP opening night. We're
Yes.
inviting all of your guests to come. It's a $25 ticket, but you will get invited to a VIP reception. Come take your pictures on the red carpet.
Mm.
And then for the first time in our history of doing the festival, we are opening the festival with a short film. And we thought that this film was timely. It was brought to us, and I end up being one of the producers on it, but it's about a young Jewish girl who falls in love with an Italian guy, and his mother disapproves of the relationship because she has a Black son from a previous relationship. But there are a sort of circumstances that happen that
Right.
forces the mother to reconcile with that racism.
Wow.
And so we just think that is so timely.
Yes.
And we're going to screen that on opening night. And then the next few days will consist of incredibly produced films by women of color.
Yes.
Also, we'll be having an educational component.
Yes.
I know I was asked earlier, what can young filmmakers do or how can they learn? Here's an opportunity. We have a panel on independent film producing by
Wonderful.
some dynamic women who have worked with some top level people.
Oh my
And
goodness.
we have a one-on-one discussion with the Senior Director of Diversity, Equity, Inclusion of NBC Universal.
Mhm.
And then we have a panel on women of color editors. A lot of people don't know there are Black women editors
Beautiful.
who edit a lot of these wonderful films that we see. So they're going to talk about it as well. And then if you come and experience the films, you have an opportunity to vote for your favorite film. And the film that get the highest score there, the filmmaker will win the Film Festival Audience of the Year award. And so we have a hybrid component. It's a virtual component as well. And this is for the all access pass holders. One portion, we have a discussion on colorism in film and television. We have a keynote panel on women of color in comedy from stage to screen. And we also have a screenwriters workshop. So that's available for your all access pass holders. They can look at it online anytime beginning 12:01 a.m. March 22nd through midnight, March 23rd. And then we have our next generation of storytellers. We'll be showing their films online, and that's available to all attendees.
Oh,
So I certainly thank you.
I wish I was there. I would be there. I would be there. Goodness.
Well, we have right now up until midnight Friday, the early bird all access pass special. The passes are $175, but if you get it now, it's $150.
What a great deal. What a great
everything.
deal. Go and get it now. Go invest in yourself.
Yes. Come network. you know, with a lot of things that's happening in our society now, with the gutting out of the affirmative action and the dismantling of a lot of those DEI programs, a lot of what I've been hearing in conversations, many people are coming just to network and pool resources to help one another, because it's time to do that.
And one of the things I wanted to say with you, Miss Renee, is I appreciate you and your tenacity, because I'm gonna it's always been hard to be an African American, Black, whatever you want to say, always in any type of paper. But what I wanted to say is it's really hard to deal with people in this society in this time when they have been the power structure type of people, and then they sit there and tell you, you know what, this hurts my ears. I don't want to hear it anymore. I don't want to hear the past anymore. We're just going to move on. You know what? One thing that's why I wanted to definitely on this show is to tell you, we appreciate from the Zoo, your tenacity, your ability to be a strong African American person. And if I didn't say it right, I am grateful for International Women's Month. Let me not get it twisted. I'm very happy for the accomplishments of the women. My mother, my grandmother, I'm always going to be an African American. I'm always going to be Black. So I'm always very proud of my culture. But I'm a human being with the human spirit, so I understand everyone. But there is a time when, and I think we're getting to that, and it's because of individuals like you who can go and get these stories on film with these people who have that bravery. See, the women are going to be our bravest ones to come forward, because it's not that the men don't have an option. And I'm going to say it like this. We don't have an option, but sometimes in this society now, but to be led, because if we try to lead, it leads to we're toxic, we're this, we're that, the way that society is set up now, you can't really necessarily be a strong, you can, but you won't be accepted. You'll be outed. You know what I'm saying? And that's what kind of that's why I was saying earlier about aggression and passion. And this is what I'm talking about when we're going to go forward, especially in film, because people are going to be like, your film is too aggressive. We're going to give you an XX rating or a double RXR, where they're going to make something and it's not going to have anything sexual or anything killing. It's just going to be telling truths. You know what I mean? And so one of the things I wanted to tell you is we thank you so much, because think about all of not only all the people that you touched, that you taught, and you put that confidence in them to go ahead and tell your story, produce, get your business in line. Look what I've done. You can do that. But even though you don't say, look what I've done, you just lead by example. And exactly, in film is the most direct media that we have. You can see it, you can hear it, you can feel it, you can even taste it if you need to, because it's right there in your face. And for so long, we had no way of controlling the narrative.
That's right.
No way of even dribbling the narrative.
That's right.
I mean, the lady told LeBron a couple of years ago to shut up and dribble. Don't she look like a stupid person now telling this billionaire to shut up and dribble? You see how the world works when the paradigm shift has been here.
Yes.
You might not want to accept it, but the paradigm shift is changed. And it's because of people like Miss Renee, who had that foresight when she realized, man, I'm in Brussels and they like Black women.
Man,
it's just the smallest things that you never know.
That's true.
That can spark off a whole thing. That gave you the confidence to say, I'm in a whole different world. This is not the same type of world that I was when I was
she took a giant step. Right over in one leap. Pick up.
And the thing is, God, the older I get, the less and less I'm worried about what other people think about. And I go back to my grandmother's knowledge, both my grandmother's knowledge, where where they tell you that God is and I am. And when you know
That's
that,
right.
you can move mountains.
There you go.
You know, so I'm from Kalamazoo. Dubb is from Kalamazoo. We're from a place where people, it's a hard journey to get out of that place. But not only physically, because all you gotta do is drive a couple of miles, but it's mentally, you know.
Ah,
And so the reason why I'm saying that is we're all destined for greatness. You just have to find it.
yes.
You have to be guided towards it. And especially when you're God's children, He's gonna
Yes.
bring it out of you, whether you know it or not.
That's right.
And there's nothing that nobody else can do to stop it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
So I wanted to just definitely share with you. We want to thank you for being in those places that we don't see,
Mm.
being in those rooms that we're not invited,
Mm.
sitting at the table and discussing the hard topics that people don't even want to know that they think about. We want to thank you for directing those others and representing us so well and continuing to do it. And that's what we want. That's what I'm from the Zoo is about. It's like, you got all these other podcasts and they like to laugh and joke and gossip and talk things. No, we like to get to the real deal and find out the real deal about how people who you are. And we thank you so much for sharing, because it's amazing what you have accomplished and what you keep accomplishing. Could you share with us, where do you get that energy and that time to keep moving, and how do you keep on top of everything? Just tell everybody how you do some of that.
Well, I'm a strong believer in God,
Yes.
and I take that relationship very seriously, and I let Him be my guide. And because of that exchange, I believe He supplies me
Yes,
with the supernatural energy and divine direction.
I agree. Yes.
And He gives me favor so that way I can move forward and accomplish what He has called me to do.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
rely heavily on that.
Amen. I received that. And you know what? You can see that God is working directly with you, because
Thank you.
thank you. You know what I mean? Like, what we say in the hood all the time, game recognize game. Don't we say that, Dubb? Don't we say that, Dubb? Game recognize game all day. You know what I'm saying? And real players love real players. So that's always right. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I've been in film ever since I saw Matty Rich do Straight Outta Brooklyn.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I
You know
remember
what I'm saying?
that.
I seen that in this little theater downstairs, and I moved to New York, and I moved to Brooklyn, and
Oh.
I used to go to this park, and I don't know if it was Prospect Park or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm walking in the park one day, and this guy just comes bouncing out his house, and I look up, and he walks across the street, and I look up, and I'm like, where's he going? I follow him. It's Spike Lee. And Spike Lee he had Spike Lee's joint. Remember, he had his own.
Oh, yes, yes,
So
yes.
I went, I couldn't believe that. I was like, just get ready to go into Spike. So I go into Spike Lee's joint, and I tell him, hey, I'm Nicolay, I'm doing films, I want to do this and that. And he just, go into films. Go into films. That's all we do. Real quick, go into film. Go into film. Go into film. And that was it. You know what I'm saying? And Spike Lee told me to go into films. Anyway, so
That's good.
he was right though. And then I had a friend that worked on. The reason why I'm sharing this is because, like, in the early 90s, that, like as we look back now, we're like, gosh, we should have took advantage of that, but the reason why I'm saying is because a lot of people are hesitant right
Yeah,
now in the technology. And like you
yeah,
said,
yeah.
making a film, it's not that difficult if you know if you've been in the back in the past, and we had to like edit in, edit out with the VHS, do this, you know how old school you go back with the technology. And if you're in the technology, you love right now. But if you're a writer or a screenwriter right now, you're in high demand. And
Yeah.
that's why I wanted to say, I had to get that out there, because I'm so tired of other people trying to once again control the narrative. like you're aggressive. No,
Right.
passionate. You know,
You definitely gave me the confidence. I know that's right.
Oh, that's wonderful.
and the
That's
reason,
Right.
wonderful.
yes, it
Thank you for
is.
sharing.
Because you got to think that it's a
Yeah.
lot of young people out there that want to pursue film but just don't know how to and kind of scared to do it. You know, but somebody that comes off of them and tell them exactly your story, it makes them want to do it for sure. Guarantee that.
That's good.
That's beautiful, Dubb. What are some things that we may have missed that we will cover? Because we are already got
I
2 minutes left in the
would.
fourth quarter.
It's it's
And
okay.
I'm sorry I
It's o-
talked a little bit. I was a little you made me do it. It's just that wonderful. I couldn't help it. I'm sorry, Dubb. Dubb gets on me when I talk too much. And I'm sorry.
It's all good.
Yeah.
I just, if it's okay, can I mention the website where people can
Absolutely.
visit?
Yeah.
So the website is www.AAWIC.org. That stands for African American Women in Cinema.org. And when you go to the site, you'll see all the information about the festival. You can purchase tickets. We would love for you all to come, support, see these women who've worked so hard to tell their rich stories in its most purest form. And we would love to have you all support them in that and come learn and network. It's time that we come together, especially in these days where we're experiencing so much division and the threat of being pulled back. So
And the website is outstanding. It's beautiful. It is
thank you.
you know what? Listen, I wasn't just doing that for the, I do things as his God. When you're prophetic, you just say what you say. And like I said, in our future, the women, our Black women are going to be our leaders, you all. If we're smart, we would allow that. And listen to what I'm saying. You respect your mother, don't you? You respect if you are a real one, you respected your mother, you respected your grandmother. You were lucky you took that wisdom and it helped you get to the next level. Talking to the men out there. So what I'm saying is let the women lead, and then we should learn from them, because when you go to your website, not only just the website, just the organization that you have. You know what I mean? And as a group, and I think that if the human family can get back to recognizing that, hey, this group of people, these group of people, they can get things done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, just sit back. You know what I'm saying? Dubb knows what I'm talking about. Anybody that knows, like, if you're a strong man, you have to have a strong woman, and vice versa. It doesn't really matter, but you just have to have somebody there, somebody in your corner. Doesn't matter if it's a male or female, but you got to have somebody there. And what I was
saying, ain't nothing like your mama.
Ain't nothing like your mom, and nothing like your grandmother. And the vibration that I'm getting from that is like, when God gives you something, it's like, it's something that's valuable for you. So this isn't just an open for anybody that's just in the film. This should be open for everyone.
Yes, it's open for everyone.
You know what I'm saying? If you're not in the film or as a professional, go ahead on and get your tickets and go and see these wonderful works, these wonderful people. Go and learn. My goodness, we have just had
We in overtime.
I'm talking too much. It's my fault. You know what? The reason why I'm saying so much is because I'm just really happy to have you. I'm really happy to have your
I'm
time.
happy to be here. Thank you.
I'm a fan. I'm gonna definitely continue to follow.
Thank you.
I'm so impressed with what you did, but I mean, you don't have to be, because it's from God, but I am. And my brother was man, he's like, bro, I don't know where you guys are getting all these great people, but man. And I was like, hey, you know what? God is the greatest. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
And
he
so,
is.
so we're just so happy that we've had your time here on I'm From the Zoo. And we want
after she come back.
Would love to come back.
Maybe we can tell you. We want to know about the event more. We had the fortune that we got a chance to meet Miss Norris as well from the Kwanzaa Film Festival.
Oh, wonderful. I love Ina. Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
I love Ina.
And I noticed that, guys. So she does the, and I noticed that you had you guys worked together on some
Yes.
before.
Yes.
And so I wanted to shout her out, Miss Norris, as well, because she was a guest as well. And
Oh,
I'm
wonderful.
glad that we had the opportunity to hear to help promote or to tell more about you.
Thank you.
Um, I really wish that I could sit down and chop it up with you about how to put A through Z together with an organization. Like, really, how do you do that? You know what I'm saying? I would personally, that's what I would love to just learn more.
Yeah.
I don't want to ask to give all the game up front, you know what I mean? It's not for everybody, but you know, like really, I would really, me, the acquiring mind that's up here, I just need to learn that. I need to know that knowledge. Like what do I need to do? What am I missing? You know what I mean? Because I want to do things for God, but I have to do it the right way, you know? And so one of the greatest things about this show is not only do we get to talk to superior beings, but people that have already done what we are looking to do and have been
Put the
touched.
work in.
They've already put
The work in already. Congratulations to you.
So we are just
Thank you, sir.
really so happy to have you here on the show.
Thank you so much.
What do we do? We always ask if you could recommend someone to be on the show.
Oh,
Who would you recommend? Who would you recommend?
wow. I have so many. Um, can I get back to you on that?
You absolutely can. You don't even have to. We don't want to put you on the spot. You know, it could be so many. But if you're out there and you want to get some information, you can also email info@aawic.org. Send your name and your information. That's the website. That's for membership. If you want to have a membership is open from January 1st through January 31st. You can join anytime as a new member. If you live in the New York City area, I don't see why you wouldn't want to be a member or, you know, to know when these events are going on, because uh it's outstanding. And I can remember from our early days in Urban World, 90s, all the way up to the film festivals and things, and just look to where we are right now. And Film Week, Harlem Film Festival, New Kwanzaa
Yeah,
Film.
who does she want to give a shout out to?
If it wasn't for that foresight that you started back then, we wouldn't have had these organizations. And we thank you.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support.
We want to hear from you. Anybody that you would like to get shouts out to before we get off here.
Yeah.
To Mr. Kier Worthy, who is always a supporter and a giver.
Yes.
And I really appreciate him, and certainly for making this connection happen.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Kier.
Very much. Thank you, Kier. Thank you, Kier. Longtime friend of mine. And he's valuable. He's valuable to me. He's valuable to us. You know, that's what I'm saying. You know, God makes it happen. There's no accident. You know, we're talking a meeting for the first time, but believe it or not, that's a 30-year continuum from both sides, from one person. Right. And you know, only God can do certain things like that.
That's right.
So like, you know, and like I said, the older I'm getting, the more that smile is getting bigger, that heart is getting warmer, because I know I can see it now. You know?
There you go.
And just like you said earlier, once you can see it, ladies and gentlemen, he gives you that supernatural strength and wisdom and power to do anything that you want. And we want to thank you so much, Miss Renee, for everything that you've done. Oh my God, I'm gonna be mad at myself when I hear this interview, because like, you didn't talk about this, you didn't talk about that. But we're gonna let you have the floor one more time if you would like to just tell everybody one more time about next week and how they can connect with you.
Sure, thank you so much. We would love to have you to attend the 24th African American Women in Cinema Film Festival, taking place March the 21st through the 23rd. You get your tickets at through our website, which is www.aawic.org. Experience the rich storytelling, the educational component, which is very strong, to hear from these women how they pioneered in their chosen profession, and also to have the online virtual experience as well, and to see our next generation storytellers. So we are excited about this historic event celebrating Women's History Month, and we would love to have you celebrate it with us.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Fabulous. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ms. TERRA RENEE, founding president of the African American Women in Cinema, and so many more, producer, actress, extraordinaire, advisor, and definitely connected to God. And we thank you so much for being on our show today. We don't want to get out of here, but we gotta go. B-Dubb, where are you from, fam?
I'm from the zoo, baby.
I'm from the zoo as well. Hey, Ms. TERRA RENEE, right here, and I'm from the Zoo Network.
Hit it, Kiki. Hit it,
Kiki,
Kiki.
take us on out. Have a wonderful time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Blockchain.
I can't stress right now. No. Remix. I can't stress right now. I can't stress right now. I can't stress right. Every time I walk, I'm an algorithm. Move the cosmos with the street rhythm. Slide in the spaceship to the day. Everything we touch makes history. My vibe's so great, it's an energy. That's why you can't stress me. Now I'm a player with the highest degree. So let's connect and grow the family. You got the I can't stress right now. 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 I can't stress. You got the Romeos and gorillas. I'm a CEO who's the realest. I make the world flip like a Britney pick. Fam, just tell me what's your endeavor. I'm all about my cheddar. I'm the elephant who remembers. We north, south, we east, west, just champions forever. Play your connection. What do you need? Just give it to us. Got the best weed, got the best cars, houses and stars. All in the studios, drop the greatest bars. Yeah. I can't stress right now. No, whoa. I can't stress